Three, two.
Hey Josh,
What's up, Regan?
what's a DJ's favorite sauce?
I don't know, Regan. What is the DJ's favorite sauce?
Marinara. Shout out to Daryl, Sabrina, Tony, and Dre for that joke. Y'all are awesome. Marinara.
Bro, I was at Guitar Center
Oh,
like
oh
last
yeah,
week,
yeah.
and I saw all the turntables, and the only thing I thought about was marinara, and that other one, Eric.
Eric. Shout out to Gion for that joke.
Anyways, welcome back everybody to the Coworkers podcast. I am one of your hosts, Josh,
And I am Regan.
and today we're going to start the episode with a little trailer talk.
Trailer motherfucking talk.
Because this week, there was actually quite a handful of, surprisingly, trailers that dropped.
Yeah.
And which one did you want to discuss first, Reagan?
Well, I don't know. I guess we'll go in order.
Okay.
We'll go with actually, take that back. Let's start off with one of the earlier ones with Snake Eyes.
Oh yeah, the G.I. Joe origin movie.
Snake Eyes. It's a very very weird how they did this because they had announced this last October.
Like a while back, right?
Yeah, like a while back, and then it's supposed to come out in July, in like 2 months.
And there was no
no
footage,
promotion,
yeah,
no
promotion.
poster, no nothing. We just knew that Henry Golding was gonna be in it,
Mm-hmm.
and they dropped the trailer, like 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
That is unheard of. That's like 2 months away from the actual film. So, yeah. But basically, I don't know much about GI Joe. I didn't really watch it growing up. I didn't watch the movies because I thought they were kind of booty cheeks.
I didn't
Yeah.
do it. I don't know a damn
Yeah.
thing about G.I. Joe either.
Yeah, but
other
I just-
than,
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
what is it? Is G.I. Joe the show where, like, at the end, like, the soldiers are, like, talking to kids and they're always giving them lessons, like, hey,
Yeah.
kids, like, look both ways before you cross
Yeah,
the street.
I mean, that's just 80s cheese. You know?
Yeah, like some Captain Planet
Yeah.
shit. Where's my Captain Planet movie?
But yeah. I just knew that Snake Eyes was that like mysterious ninja that didn't talk.
Yeah.
You know. But I mean, based off the trailers, I'm in. You
Yeah,
know,
it's just-
I'll check it out. It looks like a fun like action movie.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think one thing that has me concerned is that it's coming out before Shang-Chi, and you know, two Asian leads, both like very martial arts esque.
Yeah.
So
So maybe Snake Eyes wanted to. It comes out before Shang-Chi, right?
yeah, it comes out like
Maybe they're just trying to get a little bit of that money before
Yeah.
Shang-Chi comes and just vacuums it all up, you
yeah.
know?
But I mean, you know, we'll see. I guess.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it looks fun, and it's only like 58 seconds. That is
The-
unheard of for a trailer.
The trailer, everybody, not the movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. My bad. The trailer is 58 seconds.
Damn, we watched the whole movie?
That for real.
I didn't even eat my popcorn.
And then the next trailer we watched, or that came out, sorry, was Eternals from Chloe Zhao and Marvel, which I am excited for, obviously. And I think based off this trailer alone, there's a lot of Chloe Zhao-ness to it, for sure. A lot of big, like, wide shots and portrait shots of the characters and the, like, landscapes. And it's, I would say it's very colorful compared to, like, other Marvel movies. And it looks very different. Like we said about the Shang-Chi trailer, it looks different.
Yeah.
From like the traditional, quote unquote, I'm using air quotes, Marvel like way of filmmaking. But I don't know. Do you have any thoughts?
So the Eternals, the movie that could finally be advertised now that Chloe Zhao is the best director, and they can plaster that all
They're
over
just gonna slap that shit on, dude.
all over the promotional material. I know jack shit about the Eternals.
Same.
Other than when it was announced, I decided to look up who they were, and like that's it. I tried. It's like I would like read some stuff about them, but then like just because I'm reading like wiki articles and stuff like that, none of it really stuck. I just kind of like glanced at it and I was
Yeah.
like, oh okay, so they're just another team of people, like some intergalactic like godly like people. They're eternal.
That's
so
basically what it is.
so they live like they're like immortals.
Yeah.
And the thing about it that is kind of is like a concern to me
Mm-hmm.
is the fact that Chloe Zhao is attached to this movie,
Mhm.
and her films prior to this are very like small scale
Oh yeah,
and
for sure.
very personal. And they usually focus on a handful of subjects or maybe just one subject. And this is a main cast of 10 people.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, the last time Marvel did something like this was Guardians of the Galaxy. And I think that worked because of the tone, the writing, James Gunn like helming the project and whatnot. And that seemed like the success of Guardians was like magic. Like who even knew like that was
Yeah,
gonna be as
lightning in a
successful as
bottle
it
type
was?
thing.
Yeah, lightning in a bottle type of thing. And they're essentially attempting it again, but instead it's a very like intimate director.
Mhm.
So I don't know if how much like Chloe Zhao and like the production team like might have like butted heads over like creative
Well,
decisions.
apparently,
Or
apparently, Chloe Zhao has gone on record to say that she got a lot of creative freedom for
all
this.
right,
So
so we'll see.
yeah.
And then what else? It's all their costumes look interesting.
Mhm.
Look very out of this world, might you say?
Yeah. I mean, I'm down, man. It looks
Yeah,
interesting. I'm
yeah,
down to clown.
it's like
with.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
This is without a doubt in my mind. I'm
Yeah.
going to watch it. It's the only thing is that I'm only hoping that like it's going to be good.
Yeah. I mean, that's
That's
most
all we
could
can
ask
really
for.
hope
Yeah,
for,
yeah,
like watching trailers, really.
Yeah.
And as you were saying about like it kind of looks like a Chloe Zhao movie, like with like the nice like landscape shots and whatnot, the nice like extreme wides.
Mhm.
It's just that it's like a Chloe Zhao movie using Marvel's color palette.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, because like Nomadland, like it had a bunch of shots of like just barren nothingness.
Yeah. It had great.
but it looked good still.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna have to wait and see like how much of that is injected into this Marvel movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, the what excites me the most is the cast. It's got
Stacked.
Yeah, it is very stacked. I'm most excited to see the performances from Brian Tyree Henry,
Mhm.
Kumail Nanjiani,
Mhm.
and Barry Keoghan.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Mhm.
I think he might be the antagonist. I'm not sure.
Really?
Yeah, I
he
think.
has a very antagonistic face. He's built like an antagonist. But shout outs to Barry Keoghan for always playing the creepy motherfucker in movies. You do a great job. Love you, dude.
but,
And that just sums up the
yeah.
Eternal Stars.
Yeah. And then the next trailer that we watched just recently was something that you've been waiting for and you've been anticipating. Last Night in Soho from Edgar Wright.
The newest Edgar Wright joint.
Yeah.
Would you like to say a few things first? Because I'm pretty familiar with Edgar Wright's works.
Yeah. I mean, well, I've only seen Baby Driver. I haven't seen, any of the what's it called? The Cosmopolitan Neapolitan.
Oh, the Three Flavors Cornetto trilogy.
Yeah, Cornetto trilogy.
Cosmopolitan Neapolitan?
I don't fucking know.
Oh my
bro.
god. Cosmopolitan's that magazine.
Okay, well,
This
whatever.
motherfucker.
Anyways. So
Yo, you just offended like every single British person
Yo,
who might watch
people are
this.
gonna be on fucking pitchforks at my door. Nah.
Oh my
but,
god.
Fuck, there's a fucking fly in here.
Oh
Fuck.
shit,
Anyways,
really?
yeah.
Oh my god.
Anyways, it looks interesting, man. Like
yeah,
Thomasin McKenzie and Anya Taylor-Joy. I'm there.
Yep.
I know they're gonna kill it, but I think like. Like this is just my predictions, but I think this film is going to be focused on like the idea of like living vicariously through people. I think it'll delve in that like more like there's this film that came out with Elizabeth Olsen, Aubrey Plaza,
Oh.
and Wyatt Russell. I forgot what it was called.
Hold on, I know what you're talking about. It's the movie about
Ingrid Goes West.
Yeah, Ingrid Goes West.
Ingrid Goes West. Yeah.
Where she's like obsessed with Elizabeth Olsen,
Yeah.
who's like a social media influencer.
Exactly. Yeah.
So she travels like across the country to like meet her in person.
Yeah, and she like tries to be her friend and everything. Like almost tries to be her.
Yeah.
And I think that this movie is in the same vein.
Yeah. It looks like it could be that
yeah.
same type of story.
But it has that like horror like twist to it, which looks interesting.
Yeah.
Is that his first like? Well, I guess Shaun of the Dead would be kind of horror.
It's not horror.
Oh, it's not. It's more of a comedy.
Yeah, it's a if you would look it up on Wikipedia, it's categorized as a zombie comedy movie.
Oh, okay.
To be honest, like Hot Fuzz, which I recently rewatched, Hot Fuzz has moments like random ass moments where there's like a kind of like an audio sting and like something kind of spooky happens, but like it's so corny and like
Okay.
it's not meant to be scary.
Okay, so would you say that this is his first like?
This is his first foray into like
Oh, okay.
horror thriller
Nice.
with like a much more serious tone, because a lot of his movies before this have a tinge or like are just straight up comedies.
Right. Right.
And it's gonna be really exciting to see how Edgar Wright's signature editing style and his look and the energy he always brings to his movies gets translated to like a thriller.
Right.
And I'm just so excited. It is probably I don't want to say it's my most anticipated movie, but it's up there. It's like top 3.
Dune, Green Knight.
That is very
Motherfucking
true.
No Time to Die. Come on now. There's a lot that's coming
The
out.
French
this year.
Dispatch.
The French Dispatch. There's
Come
a
on,
lot
brother.
coming out.
There's a lot. It's
But,
stacked this year.
Yeah.
But Last Night in Soho finally got a semblance of like footage or like anything, because this movie has been under wraps for like 2 years. The only thing I knew ever since it was announced was Edgar Wright saying, "Yeah, my next movie is going to be a psychological horror movie." And I was like, "What?" And then a week like a month later he was like, "Oh, by the way, Anya Taylor-Joy's in it." And I was like, "I'll take 6 tickets just for myself." 6 separate showtimes so I can see her 6 times.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I cannot wait. It's going to be so good.
Awesome. And then the next trailer that we watched was Stillwater, directed by Tom McCarthy, starring Matt Damon. Looks like a revenge action old man thriller type thing, you know?
I thought
like
a line
Taken.
in the movie was funny when the movie takes place in what, like France?
Yeah, Marseille.
Yeah, and there's a French lady who's helping Matt Damon, and then she's like, "You're acting real American," and he's like, "You bet I'm acting American, cause I am," or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What?"
But for those of you who don't know, I think Tom McCarthy was the director of Spotlight,
Yeah,
which won Best
Spotlight.
Picture in like 2015 or something.
Yeah.
Which I saw recently, and it's a good film. It's just not as memorable in terms of like a Best Picture winner.
Do you remember
You know?
on a prior episode when we were talking about Oscar winners of the past, and we
Yeah.
had a discussion about safe Oscar winners?
Yeah,
Do you think that feels like a safe Oscar winner?
very much so. Very
Yeah.
much so.
That's what I thought. I haven't seen it just because like the subject matter doesn't interest me one bit, and I'm just.
I
Like,
mean, it's like once it gets going, it's really interesting. But then it's like at the end of the day, it just
just another like semi historical.
It's
like
it's just okay, cool. It's very like Beatty-ish. It's like riding that fine line, you know.
I gotcha.
But yeah, Stillwater with Matt Damon. I'll check it out.
Yeah, we gotta pad out our movie list for the year.
Yeah. Oh, also, I'm gonna see A Quiet Place with my girlfriend on Friday.
Really?
Yeah, part 2. So
Ooh.
next
Spooky.
episode.
Yeah, yeah.
Episode, I'll tell you how it is. But
Spooky dookie. Maybe I'll try to get a showing this weekend.
Oh yeah.
See what happens.
Oh, Cruella also comes out this Friday.
Oh boy. Oh boy. I have thoughts about that movie. Maybe I'm supposed to be watching Quiet Place 2 with Aaron when he comes back.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll hold off on Quiet Place 2 and just
go
watch Cruella.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll have 2 vastly different movies to talk about next week if that comes into fruition.
Yeah. The next movie that we watched, or the next movie, stupid. The next trailer that we saw was Annette.
With Adam Driver and
Marion
Cotillard.
Yeah, from Inception, right?
Inception. God, what else did I see her in? A lot of Nolan movies. If you're a Nolan fan, you have seen Marion Cotillard in all your movies. Dark Knight Rises. Yeah.
Oh.
Talia al Ghul.
Oh, okay.
She had the funniest death scene in the whole movie.
Interesting. Okay.
She's a wickedly talented actress. That scene though, where she dies in the truck, is just like, it's kind of laughable, like in hindsight.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was an interesting one. Regan told me Regan told me about this movie just before us recording this podcast, and we watched the trailer.
Mhm.
I've never heard of this movie, but I love Adam Driver, so that already piqued my interest. Now the subject matter looks to be kind of under wraps from the trailer.
Yeah.
Also, the trailer we watched, like all the titles and graphics, like describing like the movie and who's attached to it, was in another language. So
Yeah, I think this film was premiering at either Cannes or like Venice or something like that.
yeah,
But
and
it looks very interesting.
Mhm.
Looks it kind of has like a creepy tone to it almost.
a little
it's kinda
bit,
weird.
yeah. It's like this kind of a offbeat, off kilter nature to the, especially to Adam Driver's character,
Mhm.
juxtaposed against Marion Cotillard's character, who I think is playing like his love interest,
Mhm.
and she's like a stage performer, like a very professional
Yeah,
stage
it's supposed to be like a
performer.
musical, I think.
Oh,
Something
okay.
like that.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
there was that scene of Adam Driver dancing on stage in a bathrobe, and I was like, what? All right, like
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah.
And I don't know when it's gonna come out, because a lot of times when movies premiere at Cannes, Venice, they might not come to the States for like maybe another year.
Yeah, exactly.
So
So,
maybe it's a 2021 movie for us. Maybe it's a 2022 movie for
Mhm.
us. But yeah,
we'll see.
throw that on the list. I'm
yeah,
down.
I'm down. I'm down.
And I think that's all the trailers we watched
yeah,
this week, right?
Yeah. So those are our thoughts on those trailers that we saw. Yeah, looks interesting. Can't wait to watch those.
Now we're going to shift gears to towards what we watched this week.
Oh yeah.
Now,
Oh yeah.
Reagan, would you like to start us off?
Oh yeah. I have seen some shit.
So in total,
Some
how many
shit.
movies have you watched? Because it sounds like whenever we do what we watched this week, you're gonna have a vast amount more movies than I have.
I would disagree. I've seen 4,
Oh, okay.
though 3 out of the 4 were incredibly grueling to watch.
Oh boy, this was a
Yeah.
net, dude. This is to bring balance to the fact that you watched a bunch of bangers like the other week,
Yeah, that's true.
and then you like topped it off like Suicide Squad, and that was like your bad omen.
Yeah, it's like, okay, here we go. Like,
Yeah.
you're in some
The
shit
beginning of the end. Hey, callback. This is the end.
now. Nice. But yeah, you want to hear what I watched?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's
Lay
go.
it on me.
All right, let's do it. Wonder Woman 1984.
Fuck.
The Snyder Cut.
Jesus.
Those Who Wish Me Dead.
All right, I'm familiar.
And Sentinel.
Oh, all right,
Now,
all right.
Sentinel, I think, is probably the most okay movie I've seen out of them. Only okay because, like, it's just whatever, like a revenge thriller, whatever. Cool.
Said you watched it on Netflix?
Yeah, it's a Netflix film.
Okay.
Yeah. It's only it was an easy watch. It was like an hour and a half at most.
Yeah.
And then Wonder Woman 1984 was
Oh boy.
kind of disappointing to me because I really enjoyed the first Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
Really enjoyed it. And this one was just what happened? Like I don't
Yeah.
get,
What the fuck happened is the right.
It's so
the right.
weird. It's so
question.
convoluted. It's like nothing really happens and you almost forget like what the point is of this movie.
It's overly complicated for like no reason.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff. It's like Wonder Woman, the first one, is very simple. Like it's a very formulaic movie that works very well on its own. It's a
Mhm.
nice little fish out of water
Exactly,
story,
yeah.
and there's a nice dynamic between Gal Gadot and
Chris Pine.
Chris Pine.
Yeah.
And they really make up the heart of the movie, and they make the movie a lot more fun to watch. And it's their relationship that keeps the movie going.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that Chris Pine blew the fuck up at the end of the first movie makes you think like, oh,
Let's not even go down that rabbit hole because we're gonna be here forever if we talk about
yeah,
like
because there's a lot of.
all the the convoluted shit in this movie, man.
But I'm just saying that like, if that was the best part of the first movie, they gotta bring it back,
Yeah.
right? And they bring it back in the stupidest fucking way possible. Reagan, like you keep going with stuff that you have to say, because I have a lot that I would say, but this isn't a Wonder Woman 1984 episode.
Gal Gadot is still perfect as Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what anyone says. I think she is perfect as Wonder Woman. And seeing her in that gold armor, even though they fucking set it up terribly,
Hey, 5 seconds too.
I think she looked great in it. It was great. Although that action scene kind of sucked.
Yo, why was that like ancient Themyscirian like antique? Like it's just like it's got so much value in it.
It's
Why
just sitting in her fucking office.
Yeah, wrapped in like newspaper. What the hell?
Let's not go down that. Let's not go down that path,
yeah.
Josh.
We really got to hold back.
And then I saw Snyder Cut.
I'm so sorry for you,
It
bro.
was very exhausting. I enjoyed the action scenes. I enjoyed the part where Flash was running and like turning time back. I'm like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
I liked it.
It's a visually like it's a pretty cool like part.
What else? Yeah, action scenes I enjoyed. I feel like this would have been a very easier movie to watch if Snyder didn't put everything in slow motion.
You love how it's in 4:3 for like no reason.
I actually don't like that. Like my brother and I were talking because he saw me watching it and he's like, why would a big superhero movie, like a big like movie like this,
spectacle movie?
Yeah, spectacle movie. Why would it be in 4:3?
Because like, isn't the reason why people watch this like the huge like bombastic nature?
I want to see like the biggest like screen and the biggest whitest whatever, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, whatever, 4:3, whatever. It was like
Snyder's reasoning was he wanted to harken back to like comic book panels, and like you know how like they're kind of like squared off.
Yeah.
But is he aware that there are full page spreads on comic books and like wide sprawling shots that you could insert into the comic book?
Yeah, and like, look, that's not a knock on Zack Snyder, all right? Like, I just want to put that out there. I think he seems like a genuine person, like a genuinely nice person.
It's like him as a person is totally different than him as like
as a
the movies.
Yeah, as a director, because as a director, films are very exhausting, and he's
Well, you better strap in because there's another Snyder movie out in the wild.
I know, Army of the Dead.
Yeah, I hear that the problem with this movie is depth of field. I hear everything is blurry and out of focus.
like hyper focus.
Oh God.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like I enjoyed the action scenes. For the most part, I actually enjoyed like the actors and everyone involved, like Ezra Miller, Ray Fisher, Jason Momoa, Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, you know, Henry Cavill, whatever, what have you. I enjoyed them. I think they tried their best and they all delivered.
Yeah.
But it's just exhausting. Like, there's no reason why it should be 4 hours long. Like, truly, like
4 hours because this is Zack Snyder's only chance of making a Justice League movie.
I think personally he just needs to move on from the DC like universe. Just do something else. Stay away from this universe. Not that you know you fucked it up or anything, but it's like
it was Warner Bros that fucked it up.
Yeah, it's Warner Brothers who fucked it up. It's just for Zack Snyder's own good. Like, he just needs to move on from this.
Did you hear his pitch for what the next movie would have been?
Isn't it like Injustice or something? He would have done Injustice. Oh, what is it?
Just thinking about it is like kind of it makes my stomach turn. But so Zack Snyder expressed interest in making his next movie about Batman having a kid with Lois Lane and in like conflict with like Superman or something like that.
Isn't that just the nightmare scenes? Isn't that the whole reason?
I don't know. The nightmare scenes is actually I'm pretty sure it's a reference to Injustice, because in Injustice the thing about it is that I think it's the reason why Superman goes crazy is because the Joker kills Lois Lane.
Oh.
And then that's why like Superman went crazy. But then there's all the stuff about like Apocalypse and whatnot, and I don't know if that's even explored in Injustice, but
that's another thing. I think Apocalypse looks cool. I just
wait, no, not Apocalypse. That's X-Men. Darkseid.
Oh fuck me.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Darkseid. I think Darkseid looked cool.
Yeah.
He's. Oh, also the action scene, the one the one where Darkseid attacks Earth for the first time and like.
Oh yeah, and all the people.
Forces. Yeah, like I thought that was cool. I'm a sucker for like big like battles like that.
Yeah.
So
they're cool to see.
I thought that was cool, but
there's just placated in this movie are so many weird like hiccups and like things that just jump out at you.
Yeah.
Like that scene, like that you're referring to. This isn't a problem that I don't think is going to affect most viewers. But when Darkseid gets stabbed and his blood gets spilled like on the battlefield. I don't know what it is about the VFX team that like the way they render things, but Darkseid's blood looked like oil, and I was just like, I don't know if that's how Darkseid bleeds, or just some lore thing. Yeah, do you bleed? And then yeah, dude, it's also kind of funny how like, what is it?
Josh, we're going down the rabbit hole, man. We gotta be careful.
Hold on, let me just touch on a few things that
right.
that just like bugged me, or like things that I just thought were funny. Oh yeah, you forgot about the other villain, Steppenwolf. I have a question for you. What do you think about his armor?
He's a porcupine.
He's a porcupine.
He gets sharp when he gets angry.
Yeah, he just flexes his muscles and then it like moves and reacts. I think it looks atrocious. It's one of the worst like design things I've ever seen in my life. Because like the movie is like this grim, dark, so lowly lit like movie, and then Steppenwolf comes in looking all gaudy and shit, and like just like adorned in gold, and like it's so specular. Like that's like how reflective material is. That there's so many like points of like pure white just like bouncing off of him, and it's an eyesore. Not only that, it's constantly moving. Why? I fucking hate his design. It's like he looks better than the Joss Whedon one, because in the Joss Whedon one he looks like a PS2 game, and this one he looks like a PS4 game. So I'm glad they like jumped up a few generations. But oh my god.
Oh, also I still haven't seen the Whedon one, so I have no basis to compare it. But you know, I watched the Snyder Cut. I finished it.
What you're missing out on is the super funny scene when Flash saves Wonder Woman and they trip and Flash falls on Wonder Woman's chest.
Yeah, fucking just like Age of Ultron.
Yeah, just like Age of Ultron.
Fucking Joss Whedon, you fucking weirdo. Anyways, so yeah, I watched the Snyder Cut. And then I watched Those Who Wish Me Dead. Josh already gave his thoughts. I kind of just agree. It was kind of just difficult to get through because I didn't.
What are we doing today, Reagan?
We're playing hooky. I just didn't care about the movie. I didn't care about the characters. I didn't care about their fucking reasons for doing what they do.
It's not really explored, but like it's just the fact that like Tyler Perry is like the mafia or something like that. And yo, where are these two assassins like morality located? Because they'll go out of their way to do an act of terrorism and blow up the house with the family and the kid. They overtly say that that the house that blew up in the beginning, it had a family in it. There was like a wife, child, and father. Blew it up, blew it to smithereens. They're chasing a dad and his kid, and they're more than willing to murder the kid. So why is it when they run into John Bernthal's wife, who's pregnant, they won't shoot her?
They have a heart. They're villains who have a heart.
But only in that moment.
But only in that moment.
In that moment, they had this like a... They had a change of...
Yeah, change of heart.
Yeah, what the
almost.
fuck?
But yeah, I watched that. Super hard to get through.
Hour 30. Hey, what... You're saying how it's an hour 30? It's an easy watch. I said it might be. It's not a fun one.
Nope. It's not. You're right, Josh. You're right.
Fucking told you.
And then I watched Sentinel, which is like a French film on Netflix. Was cool. It stars the woman from Quantum of Solace. The main woman.
I don't remember Quantum of Solace that well. That's the thing.
I don't either. But yeah. It was okay. It was one of those like revenge thrillers, like almost John Wick-esque.
Okay.
Although not as like stylistic as John Wick. Mm-hmm. It definitely has a big tonal issue. Because the tone just shifts from the first half to the second half. And it's like, okay, I didn't know it was going to be this type of movie, but okay.
Okay.
But, yeah, that's
on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
Anybody can watch it, yeah.
Yeah, for those of you listening, if you want to check out these movies, form your own opinions, go ahead.
HBO Max.
The first 3, HBO Max, and then the last one I mentioned was on Netflix. So go check them out if you want. But Josh, what did you watch this week?
Now, this week... I watched 3 movies. Okay. Now, the first one that I watched is a horror movie that came out last year. Australian horror movie called Relic.
Yeah.
And it's something that I've been meaning to get around to watching for a while because it falls in that category of quote-unquote horror where it's actually just a drama masquerading as like a horror movie,
Yeah.
because what's scary is either the unknown or something that you can relate to.
Yeah, I watched Chris Stuckman's review on it
Mhm.
when after you like texted me and you told me about it, and he because I had told you like, oh, it's kind of like Hereditary, right? That familial like theme to it.
It's a lot like Hereditary, but there's another movie
The
that
Babadook.
The Babadook, because it is also a movie from Australia, originates in Australia.
Mhm.
The director Jennifer Kent, it was her directorial debut.
Mhm.
And for this movie, Relic, I'm pretty sure it's this director's directorial debut also. I just forgot their name. I'm
Okay,
pretty sure
okay.
it's a female director also.
Yeah.
It's a very female-driven movie.
Oh yeah.
And it is definitely polarizing because it's not a like scare-a-minute blockbuster horror movie.
Yeah.
It's
Which I think is why like the Babadook was like kind of received like there was like mixed reviews.
there was a lukewarm reception to the fact that like it is not like a over the top monster movie, but
Yeah.
also because the child in the movie could be very overbearing. He
Oh,
could
yeah.
be very annoying.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm not here to talk about the Babadook, which I think is pretty good. I'm here to talk about Relic,
Yeah.
and I think it's actually like a really solid movie. It's really well done. It's really well made.
Mhm.
And like the heart of the story like lies in this like tragedy that is transpiring right before your eyes. I don't want to like get too much into it unless just in case people want to watch it, but what I left the movie feeling was really sad.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very depressing movie. In
Mhm.
Chris Stuckman's review, he talked about how the ending is polarizing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's visually like there's a point in the in that sequence where like there's this one single frame, like this shot that I thought was like really 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 genius.
Okay.
And I was like, damn, that shit hit.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's pretty depressing. And that's Relic.
Nice.
And the second movie I watched is a little 90s black comedy crime movie called Fargo.
Oh, Fargo.
Fargo is fucking phenomenal.
It is. It's really good.
Oh, geez, eh?
Oh, jeez, eh?
geez.
Oh,
Oh,
don't ya?
heck. There's a triple homicide. Oh, heck. I
now
love Francis McDormand.
Oh, now come on. We had a deal. We had a deal.
we had
come
a deal.
on.
30 minutes. We had a deal. Steve Buscemi, dude. I love the cast. The cast in the movie
Yes.
is so
So
stacked.
good. Yeah.
And they all like come in and they all like do something so interesting. And there's like a tagline when I looked up this movie on Letterboxd that really summarizes the movie like to a T.
Mhm.
On the description in Letterboxd, the first line is, "A lot could happen in the middle of nowhere,"
Yes.
which kind of embodies like what this movie is. It's like Fargo. It's the name of the general area that the movie takes place in, like Minnesota and stuff like that. Like
Minnesota. Yeah.
those states, and it takes this material of like a crime movie and just adds like a little like regional flair to it.
Mhm.
And it makes it so like funny and interesting to watch. Funny in like a weird way, because like there's this terrible thing happening, but Frances McDormand's character Marge won't drop a curse. She's so polite to everybody,
That's exactly like my feelings about the movie.
and like it just makes for like a very like it's kind it's a bit kind of like a head tilting experience where you're just like, huh, like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
what? But there's like nothing absolutely wrong with it, because it's an airtight like crime movie, and like the whole like premise and the ridiculousness of it is so funny.
Yeah.
Like William H. Macy tasks two goons to kidnap his wife. What the fuck? And they're like the you know how we talked about in Those Who Wish Me Dead, the two people, they're like clowns,
Yeah.
the cartoon villains. These two guys in Fargo, they get the job done, but like their dynamic is like polar opposites.
Yeah. It's like
And it's like water mixing with oil, and they don't know how to fucking work together, and like shit just hits the fan.
dude, that one. Should I talk about spoilers?
Yeah, sure.
All right, spoilers. But that one scene where the big dude was like putting Steve Buscemi's dead body through that fucking
Oh yeah, Peter
like,
Stormare was putting
yeah,
it through
the wood chipper or whatever.
and then Marge comes in and she's trying to yell freeze, but like the wood chipper's so loud that he can't hear her. So she just keeps yelling freeze, I'm the police. It's so good.
So good. So good.
Yeah,
I love it, man.
that's a Coen Brothers classic.
Yeah.
And I thought it was amazing.
Yep.
And moving on from there, the third movie I watched, me and Reagan actually watched this movie together.
Yeah, I just
Off
didn't
of a
wanna mention it.
recommendation of a good friend of ours. Shout outs to Josh Sumagi, aka Josh Longhair. It is his favorite movie, and it is a Wong Kar Wai movie, famous Chinese director,
Why?
and it's his movie Fallen Angels.
Oh yeah.
Now Reagan,
Oh yeah.
since we both watched it together, we could both talk about it. Reagan, would you like to take it away? What are your
Okay.
thoughts on Fallen Angels?
Now let me just make this clear. I kind of fell asleep
Motherfucker.
because I had a long day. Okay, cut me some slack, man.
It's
I had
all
a
right.
long day.
It's okay. It's like
But-
when you told us that you woke up, you didn't even miss out on that much. It was like the
But-
first
yeah.
5-10 minutes.
But I think one thing that stuck out to me was the way that Wong Kar Wai shot the film.
Yup.
It's a lot of it was mostly handheld.
Mm-hmm.
He uses this like super wide lens, but like it's kind of like a fisheye lens, but it's not.
It's the fact that like this wide lens and they're putting their subject so close.
Yeah, it's so
to the lens that's like causing it to like naturally distort.
Yeah.
While keeping the stuff in the background like the way it's supposed to be when presented through that
exactly.
lens.
And like the fact that he was able to use this like wide lens and still get this big like or this nice like differentiation from the background and foreground, which is fucking sick.
It's almost akin to there's a camera shot.
Is it the split diopter? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, that I found in like Giallo movies and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And it plays around with that depth of field type of thing.
Yeah.
But like that's more there's definitely like a feel to that split diopter shot that like makes it that type of shot. This is like something different. And it's very like Wong Kar Wai-esque. Like it has like his stamp on it.
Yeah.
The only other time I might have seen a shot like this is one single moment in the Korean movie Old Boy.
Oh.
And that's like the only thing that comes to my mind.
Yeah.
And I think like not only is that like framing device and composition like aesthetically pleasing, I think it's very purposeful to the narrative and the story.
Yeah.
The fact that like whenever the shot is used, the element in the foreground is most of the time like one of our characters' heads.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it does an effective job of portraying how the viewer is kind of in the headspace of that character.
Right.
Because a lot of the movies presented through voiceover.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like one with their inner thoughts.
Yeah.
And it's meant for us to give more clarity on who these people are. And I thought it was just like such a interesting way to do exposition.
Oh yeah.
Or an interesting way to like talk about like the characters themselves. Anything else?
Well, a lot of it took place at nighttime.
Yup.
Which is sick. Like a lot of the neon coming out, dude. Neon.
Yeah, dude. Neon
city
colors,
lights.
good cinematography. That's what the internet's gonna tell you. Shout out to Twitter.
Oh god. But
Shout out to armchair cinematographers on the internet.
Yikes. But yeah, no, it was sick. I think I have to give it a rewatch for sure.
I feel like there's a lot to unpack with this movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Who was your favorite character to follow?
Probably. It's for sure between the hitman and like his assistant or whatever. Like it's for sure between those two.
Oh really?
Yeah. Blondie kind of grated my fucking ears the entire movie. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it'd be between the hitman and his like
the partner.
Yeah, the partner.
Mm-hmm.
I think I really enjoyed like their like a lot of their sequences.
I thought it was interesting how those two characters don't have names.
Yeah.
And it kind of adds to the effect of like the movie's like main message of like running into people or having very small interactions with people. And you might not even know their name, but they might have an impact on you.
Yeah.
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 Sick, really interesting.
Sick movie.
And I feel like the cast of characters we follow really exemplifies like the title of the movie too, Fallen Angels.
Mm-hmm.
It's like human beings, but like these are human beings that inhabit the nighttime, which means like they don't they don't have like conventional like day-to-day lives. They inhabit like a point in time that's it might be associated with like people who are like delinquents or something like that, or like they kind of like hide in the nighttime. So this movie like sheds light on people who might live on their own, like out of step from like the normal person, quote unquote. And like, what better people to follow than a hitman and a guy who invades stores and just like pretends to work in them for in order to haggle money.
The mute guy.
Yeah, the mute guy.
Yeah.
I think he's my favorite character.
Oh yeah, no, like that the scene where he like talked about his dad.
Yeah.
And like him shooting like all that VHS like
the videos.
Yeah, the videos and whatnot.
And it's kind of interesting to me that like it's interesting and it's heartbreaking that like the moment he decided to start documenting footage and like the moment he started to like capture the memories of him and his dad, his dad like died like right after.
Yeah.
So he only has like that one moment to like remember his dad by, other than like personal memories, but like physical like media. And then they had this whole discussion about how the mute guy worked at the Japanese place, and the Japanese store owner would make these videotapes and send to Japan to his son, and how like he would like cherish them. It's just interesting that like in a weird backwards sense, the dad gave the mute guy a VHS to hold on to.
Yeah.
It's that final memory.
Yeah.
Man.
It's good. Real good.
And I thought it was like really interesting how that character is mute, but we could like hear all of his like colorful thoughts.
Yeah.
And like he has a lot to say, but he can't say it. And I thought the reasoning was funny. He was like, I was 5 and I ate a bad can of pineapples, and I just couldn't talk after that anymore.
Jesus.
And he has like, he says so much without saying anything.
Yeah.
And it was also interesting that in the movie they paired him up with Charlie, the girl who talks so much, but it's like an interesting dichotomy because he can't say anything, but she says too much. It's like a guy who is like so well integrated into his own thoughts, but this girl, she keeps on talking, and it makes it seem like she wants noise just to like block out what might be what might be going on in her mind.
Yeah.
So it's just like this nice chemistry that they had together for that single moment. But you know, the movie's about chance encounters and like small encounters that don't last for very long, and then things just happen. I think this movie is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Probably, you know, like this year, I've had a nice streak with foreign movies.
Oh yeah, with
like
Houseu?
first Houseu, easily becoming one of my favorites, and now this movie.
Yeah, I mean, hey, same with me. I saw Akira too, like a couple weeks ago, and it easily became one of my favorite movies.
And yeah, that's pretty much all I could really say without heavy spoilers or like having like a really in-depth like discussion about it, because for a movie that's only an hour 39, it has a lot to say, I think.
Oh, for sure.
And it's very dense, and I highly recommend people watch it. The only problem is that this is kind of a movie lost in time, where like it's not as popular as Wong Kar Wai's other movies, Chungking Express,
In the Mood for Love,
In the Mood for Love, which are readily available on like different platforms. Yeah. But Fallen Angels is kind of hard to come around. So the legal way to watch it is to subscribe to the Criterion channel,
or buy the World of Wong Kar Wai box set
from Criterion.
Yeah, from Criterion. But if you're not a big physical media person, then.
And like me and Regan are always saying like, go like check out these movies for yourself and like formulate an opinion. As much as we would want people to like watch this movie, it's kind of hard to watch it. Like the means to watch it are pretty difficult. But yeah, I guess that's all my thoughts about it. Before we decide to rate this movie, because we had more of a discussion on it, any final thoughts?
I need to rewatch it for sure. I just need to rewatch it. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the shot compositions above anything else. Just the way he shot this movie was
the style
so interesting to me. So interesting.
You know what that is? This movie had good cinematography.
Oh, for sure.
What it is.
Yeah, that's good cinematography.
That's good cinematography. And it had neon lights on top of it. So Reagan, what would you rate this movie?
I would give it an A.
A.
An A.
Pretty much feeling the same way as you, but in numerical form.
Oh yeah.
I give him this movie a 9.
Ooh, that is an A.
Yeah, that is an A.
That is an A. But yeah. Fallen Angels.
That's Fallen Angels. Yeah, Wong Kar Wai.
Now I need to see In the Mood for Love, dude.
I gotta see all
And
those other movies.
Chunking Express. Yeah.
Because like Josh said, like Chunking Express and Fallen Angels are kind of like companion pieces to each other.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be very interesting to watch. So speaking of all this foreign movies, Reagan, ever since Parasite came out, there's been an upsurge in interest with Korean movies specifically. But I kind of want to broaden the scope a little bit. For anybody interested in getting into foreign movies, no matter the language, what would you recommend someone to watch?
Okay.
Maybe like give me like 2-3 examples.
Like my personal opinions, or like what the film intelligence.
No, like your personal experience, because everybody resonates with different movies.
Well, I've seen three films that come to my mind. Like, first and foremost, Akira, which is I've read and I've heard that it is responsible for like rejuvenating the interest of anime in the United States.
Yeah, most definitely.
And I would highly suggest people watch that movie. It's not going to be this neo-noir, cyberpunk film like that you would expect from like clips and like images and whatnot, which I thought that was like going in, but it has a lot to say about like Japanese culture. Has a lot. It even has to say
a lot to say, for a movie set in the future. It has a lot to say about Japan's history. Also,
exactly, and like it has like some like allegorical takes on like the bombings.
Most definitely.
From World War II, because this takes place in a fictional World War III, right? So, there's a lot to it, and the animation is stellar. Like it is amazing. That shit was drawn by hands, bro. Yeah, it's literal hand, not a fucking computer, bro. That shit's insane.
There's an interesting video I'll send you. It's by the Corridor Crew, if you're familiar with them. They do like little videos like reacting to good and bad CG, but they have one, I'm pretty sure, on good and bad animation. And the chase scene in Akira is touched upon. And the little animation tricks that they use to really sell like the look and feel of the movie. It's a very insightful video to watch, especially since you're a big fan of the movie.
But yeah, Akira. Please go check that out. Another film that came out this past year actually, which won Best International Feature, Another Round.
Yep. Mads Mikkelsen.
It was really good, dude. It's about these four like.
They're teachers, right?
Yeah, 4 teachers. I wouldn't say they're down on their luck.
Yeah.
But they definitely have that like midlife crisis type thing.
But it's like a tradition, right? Like what they're doing, or no? Is it just something? No.
It's just something that they think that they thought about.
Okay.
They start like drinking alcohol, right? And like to kind of loosen and like find themselves again. I'm not gonna give away the entire movie, but like the journey that they go through is like. I wouldn't say it's arresting, but it's like I don't know. It's just so interesting to see that the journey that these people go through.
Yeah.
And how they influence their students, like as they're like inebriated.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's so interesting to see that. But yeah, that's another foreign film that I would highly suggest you guys watch. Won the Academy Award for international features, so go check it out. And then this next movie could be argued that it was robbed of an Oscar win, Roma.
Oh, you're damn right.
I didn't think of anything going into Roma.
Yeah.
I would argue it's a little dense. If you're going in, like, be prepared, like, it's kind of slow at times.
Yeah.
But I think it's a beautiful film.
It is.
And it's very personal to Alfonso Cuarón, right?
He said himself that this movie is a love letter to the moderns of the world and the women that raised him in Mexico.
Yeah.
And like with that in mind, Like I've seen Roma also, and it was the last movie that I watched from that year. I watched it
Yeah.
on New Year's going into the next year,
Oh wow.
and it was probably one of like the most beautiful like movies that I saw.
Yeah.
It really hits home, it about like maternal love and whatnot, and
Yeah.
that type of feeling, and it's just so beautifully done. And I think the black and white is actually very purposeful because of the fact that like Alfonso Cuarón is like framing like memories, and it's kind of like he's looking at his memories in like an old-timey movie type of way,
Yeah.
in black and white and whatnot. And like I don't know, like personally for me, when I think back to like memories like far back in my youth and whatnot, because I associate black and white with like old, like a black and white picture, to like something that's relatively old, I think about like my memories in like black and white.
Interesting.
So, it's like that's just a personal thing that like I got from it, but I thought it added a layer of like meaning
Yeah.
to the visual style, not only for the fact that Alfonso Cuarón is his own cinematographer and he purposely made the movie look this way with these beautiful wide angle shots and
Yes.
whatnot, and he's a really good director at like directing so many moving pieces, like the scene when they're looking for a baby crib and the fucking riots break out, and the shot through the window and you're watching all these people
Yeah.
run through the streets. It's insane that like for a movie that's supposed to be so grounded and homely,
Yeah.
that happens.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck? It's an excellent movie.
Yeah. Would you say that's one of the films that you would recommend?
Yeah,
watch?
definitely.
Okay.
It's on Netflix. So me and Reagan both vouching for it. Rome
Good.
was a very good
That's good.
movie.
That's good. All right. You got what are your other two?
That was your
Josh?
3. So going from that, I know I agreed that like Rome was a movie that everybody should watch, but I actually had another separate 3.
Oh.
So we'll quickly run through those.
Here we go.
And to bounce off of Reagan's recommendations, he mentioned Akira. Now I'm gonna recommend another anime movie that people should watch. This is a bit more easier to like digest, and it's a bit easier to get into. It was the best anime, the best like grossing anime movie, like for a few years, until like another movie that came out this year. But it's an anime drama called Your Name.
I have it on Blu-ray. I
And-
haven't seen it yet, but continue.
It's a really well done drama slash comedy slice of life type of thing
Yeah.
about living through another person's shoes,
Yeah.
figuratively and literally, because
Yeah.
this is essentially Freaky Friday
Yeah.
if Freaky
it's
Friday was an anime.
It's a body swap movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's visually stunning. It's got a killer soundtrack.
Yeah.
The music is so good. I listen to it like constantly. It's a really sweet movie too, and there's some like cleverness to it involving like Japanese culture and whatnot.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just gets like a glowing recommendation from me.
Okay.
I definitely recommend it. The second movie, now we're gonna get into some fucked up shit.
Here we go, guys. Get ready.
Now, Parasite. Parasite was I'm only bringing it up as an example. It really blew the lid in terms of interest in Korean movies.
Yeah.
Now, to jump off of that and springboard into my second recommendation, which is Old Boy.
Not the Spike Lee one.
Not the Spike Lee one. 2003 Park Chan-wook. That is the one. 2003's Old Boy is... I consider it one of the greatest movies ever made.
Oh, wow.
It's probably the best revenge movie ever made
Mhm.
because it's so fucked up.
Yeah.
And like huge warning for people that like it deals with some really dark subject matter.
Oh, boy.
And you gotta kind of be prepared for like to like brace yourself for like something traumatic might be presented to you. But it's a very visceral movie, and it's like a action revenge that's done in like a style that's not found in like American cinema. And the one thing that people most definitely know Old Boy for is the world famous single take hallway fight scene. And that's at the first third of the movie.
Oh, wow.
But like that really sets the tone, and it really sets like what's to come with like how in your face the movie wants to be, and it doesn't hold back. It's got stellar performances. Like the main character, he goes through like this insane transformation, like visually, like the way he looks and whatnot, and then the way he behaves and like what he strives for in terms of like taking revenge on the people that did him wrong. It's a beautifully sad movie. It's so depressing, but man, that was the movie that like for a lot of people, Parasite probably started that craze of like an interest in Korean movies. Oldboy did that for me.
Yeah. Awesome.
And yeah, I definitely recommend that one.
Okay.
What was the third movie I was gonna recommend? Fuck, it's escaping me.
Uh-oh.
I was too busy invested in Oldboy.
Seven Samurai, Pierre
No.
LeFou, 8.5, Breathless by Jean-Luc Godard. No, I'm just kidding. I was spitting a bunch of French New Wave films, but
Oh, I don't want to talk about French films. There's a certain guy attached to French films, and we're not going to talk about him today, even though one of his movies are really good. All right, like I'll jump into this next one.
all right.
So the same director of Oldboy, he directed a movie in 2015 called The Handmaiden.
That sounds familiar.
And that is that rivaled Oldboy in my mind for being the best Korean movie I've seen.
Oh wow.
And it's a really good like period piece because it's based off of a novel. I'm pretty sure it's also called The Handmaiden, but yeah, it is a period drama about a lowly Korean servant who goes and becomes a maid for Japanese royalty, and it's a story about like a forbidden love that they can't have for each other, because this is a movie set in like
okay.
it's not feudal, but like it's during the time when Japan occupied Korea.
Okay, interesting.
It's around that time, and it's this forbidden love because like, you know, Japan is there for like that reason, and then the Koreans are being like treated poorly and whatnot, and then they learn to like relate to one another and they fall in love. So the thing about Oldboy is that it's fucked up because of the subject matter. In this movie, there's a trigger warning for there's a trigger warning to essentially tell you not to watch this with your parents, because if you look this movie up on Wikipedia, it is categorized as an erotic thriller.
Oh.
So there are scenes of that, but it's purposeful.
Okay.
And I think this is actually a very, very satisfying movie to watch. Like in terms of like, it's at first like a period piece, but then it turns into like this crazy, like it's almost like a heist movie. Like there's like a plan that needs to be set into place and stuff like that. And the ending is so gratifying. And yeah, I guess those are the three movies that I'm recommending.
Wait, run it back. Say them again.
So the three are Your Name, Oldboy, and The Handmaiden.
Nice. And
Regan, what were your three?
My three were Akira, Another Round, and Roma. So go check those out. Go look for those films, man.
I just remember what my other recommendation was. Not catching it. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
There's a sound of like a blender going off in the kitchen.
We can.
But it's not picking
We'll
it
cut
up.
that.
On
We'll cut that. But yeah, please go seek out these movies because they are absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, go and enlighten yourselves a little bit.
Open your mind.
Don't be scared of subtitles. They're only 3 inches big. Remember what Bong Joon-ho said. Once you overcome the hump, there's nothing to be scared of.
But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please go check out those films, like any film that we mentioned today. Yeah. If you like this podcast, please let us know. Give us a like. Follow us on Instagram at coworkers.podcast. And yeah, I'm Regan.
And I'm Josh.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good night, everyone.